So this is kind of unplanned part 2 of the video, but the battery in my camera gave out, and so I need to take a little break. Hopefully I will have remembered where I was headed. I know I was talking about, I got a lot of really nice rejection letters because of the pamphlet and the CD also that Chuck Pappas had put together for me. I had taken that and put a label on it, and I had a whole presentation that I put together. And compared to other presentations, it wasn't that expensive to do. You know, for me at the time, it was fine. I know for a lot of people, it would be out of your reach. But it's something to keep in mind that, you know, presentation can open doors. And that little brochure that I showed you, that little brochure helped to show people that I was dead serious about not just wanting to be in a gallery in New York, but about my future. And and my goals too. I got people to listen to me because of that. What I did after getting a whole lot of really nice rejection emails and phone calls, by the way, too, I got some nice rejection phone calls, I would ask people, do you know of a gallery where you think I would be most appropriate, especially if I wasn't appropriate for their gallery, or they felt they had too many artists in their roster already. And some people did make some really nice recommendations, and I followed those through and got a whole lot of really nice rejections from those people as well. You know, it's not a great economy. It's never a great economy, but it's harder for people now, right now. So I didn't take it personally, but what I did do was I took that little brochure and I went to New York. I had some friends who'd offered to show me around New York because this was my one goal. They showed me around New York. They showed me all the neighborhoods they could think of where I might make some headway. And I went home and researched all the neighborhoods. I had also taken pictures too. In every neighborhood, I took pictures of every gallery I saw, and also the placards on the walls with the names of the galleries and the buildings. And I went home and I started doing research because now I knew the city a little bit better. So I sat there with my map and my pictures and researched. And I spent a couple of weeks researching and headed back to New York with a list of people I thought would be most appropriate for me to approach. I thought that we had the same sensibilities. We carried work that would do well together. And I just went down the list, and I'll tell you, the first one was the hardest. It was raining in New York that day, raining so badly the train was struck by, the transformer, something was struck, and the train to Long Island was shut down. So it ended up being a really long day getting back home after this, but I had a bright orange poncho on. In my backpack, a bright orange poncho. I'm soaked to the bone, as my friend Kathy, who was walking with me, was. And I walked into the gallery that I thought was best for me. The one that I knew of that I thought was best for me, top of the list. I walked in the door, and I walked up to the first man that I saw, and because he looked like he was in charge, and I said, "My name is Becky, and I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I've driven 4.5 hours to talk to you. Would you please look at my work?" And he said yes. I was there for an hour and a half. He looked at my work. He was very encouraging. He showed me around the gallery. He took me into his private office where there was a Renoir. There was a diamond-encrusted Warhol print. It was pretty exciting. And he also said no. But I'll tell you, partway through the interview and the talk, I burst out crying, and he said, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And I said, "I can't believe I did it. I talked to you, and I'm here, and I've been working on this for months, and you would believe what I've done to get here." And he laughed. He thought it was so funny and kind of cute, I think. I'm not sure, or crazy. But really, it hit me. All I had done that year was work towards getting my work in the galleries where I wanted to be in New York, or getting in a gallery in New York. And I spent the next few days doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. I went down my list. I didn't call ahead of time. I walked in the door. And it was hard. It was very hard walking up to people going, "Hi, I'm not a lunatic, and I'm a complete stranger who hasn't made an appointment. Would you please look at my work?" But eventually I did get someone to say yes. And from there I had 2 consecutive solo shows in a space in New York. And then I was approached by Eaton. And so we're not as far ahead as I'm not as far ahead as I would like to be, but we're inching our way there. We're inching our way. And it was all because I just sat down and I listed out my goals. And then I worked towards them. And I did nothing else. And I followed my heart. I did everything that you're not supposed to do. Or everything the books say do not do. And everything in the past that you're not supposed to do. I did it. And here we are. And I can't say it's going to be clear sailing. But I opened that door and I have no courage. I have no courage. I have no fear now. I have no courage. Oh, that was really wrong. I'm not as afraid. I remember when my son was about 14 years old, I think. We were driving down the street on Cape Cod. We were driving around going somewhere. And he looked at me and he said, "I have to ask you a very personal question." And I said, "Okay." And he asked me what he wanted to ask me, and I'm not going to repeat it, but he asked me what he wanted to ask me. And I pulled the car over, and I looked at him, and I said, "I am so proud of you. You've asked someone who's probably the biggest person in your world right now, the scariest person in the world, a very personal question, and I'll answer it. But I want you to know how very, very, very proud I am of you for building up the courage to ask me." I also feel that way about me. I kept my drive, my direction, my focus, and I followed every instinct I had and took every opportunity I was given. I may have done it all kind of wrong according to the books. But I'm very proud of me. Now I don't have to be scared anymore. I've done it. I've been in New York. I've done it. Sorry, it just kind of hit me just now. I don't know how much it's going to help people who are looking for clearer answers. But let's start there. Follow your heart. Ciao.